Hello everyone and welcome back to the third part in how to create a skill tree in Unreal Engine 5 with C++. This is the final part and today we're going to be sorting out some of the UI, so I'll show you what we're changing. We're changing UI items here we have, so we're going to have a skill tree one at the top. On left we'll maybe have the health and on right we'll potentially have the speed, so that's good. So let's add these UI items in. I got these items off gameicons.net. I have linked them in the description so you can go and create them yourselves, make them look how you want to look, or you can create your own, totally up to you. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drag them in. So icons we need to go to. I've already got these in a folder. So downloads, ST items. So I'm just going to drag these in, all three of them. Perfect. So for each one, we need to go to World Texture Group, change it to UI, and then change the compression settings to User Interface 2D. So I'm going to do that for all of them now. I'll speed this up. Now we've done that, we want to add the variables to code so we can use them for each different type of button. And we also want to assign stat bonuses to the character for each level. We're going to do that right now. So let's jump back into code. First thing I'm going to go to is skilltree.h. What we're going to do is add a couple of variables. So I'm going to put them in the protected section at the bottom. We need a U property. And this is going to be edit anywhere. And this is going to be of type TObject pointer of uTexture2D. I'm going to call this health icon. Perfect. Let's duplicate that and change the other two. I'm going to duplicate it twice. It's been duplicated, so we're going to have speed icon, and then we're going to have unlock icon, or skill tree icon we'll call it. Perfect. So now I'm going to create a function. There's going to be a U function, and this is going to be a uTexture2D. This is going to be a pointer of that. I'm going to call it get icon for type. I'm just going to pass through a eSkill type of type. And this is going to be a const. Let's create that function. Perfect, that's been created. We want to do a switch statement inside of here of type. And then inside we'll have case. And this will be eSkill type of health. And what we want to do here is return help icon. Perfect. And then I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to change that to speed. And that's speed icon done. And then default, we're going to do underneath, is going to be return. We're going to line these up. It looks much nicer, they're quick. Return unlock icon, or what do we call it? Skill tree icon. So perfect. So what we can do here at the top, we're going to get the data up here. For the icon, it's not null pointer anymore. It's skill tree icon. So let's assign that. And then in initialize skills, what we want to do is get data.icon. And what we'll do is go get icon from type. And then we'll see what type has been passed in through the eSkill type up here. Because we do that up here. So when we initialize the skills, we have obviously the pointer to health skills. The type is eSkill type health. And that's being passed through, and that's telling that we're a type of health. So we get the health icon. That's perfect. While we're in the skill tree H, that's all done now. We do also want to create a function. And that function will be a U function. And this is going to be a float of type get stat bonus for level. So that's perfect there. This will pass through a eSkill type of the type as usual, capital T, and then we want int 32 level. Perfect. Let's create that function. Let's generate that. And inside this function, we need a little bit of code, and what we need is another switch statement. This is going to be switch type, and here we want case inside the curly brackets, case eSkill type. Going to do health, of course, and then inside of here we want a static const t array of float. I'm going to call this health bonuses. It's going to equal what we want to add each time. So the first time we want to add 10 to the health. The second time we want to add 20 to the health. It's done it for us. It's auto done it for us. So it's done 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But I want 10, 20, 30. I'll do 50. And for the final one, I'll do 100. So that's perfect. And then what we want to do with this, we want to return health bonuses dot is valid index. Then we want to have the level, but we need to -1. That's perfect. Capital L there. And it's done the rest for us. Capital L there as well. And it's done the ternary operator. So if it's not a valid index, it'll be 0. And when you change this health icon to bonuses, it's auto done it wrong for us. Sorry about that. There we go. So we have the first one done. What we could do with this one, with this case, I'm going to copy and paste. Bit lazy, but you know me. Nothing wrong with being a little bit lazy doing stuff like this. This also needs to all be inside of here. There we go. So I'll copy all that. What we can do here is paste, and what we're going to do is speed. And we can do speed bonuses. And what we can change for the speed bonus, each time we're going to add 100 the first and second time. Then the third and fourth, we're going to add 200 to the speed. And then finally, we'll add 400. So essentially we should have super speed there. Let's just change the health bonuses there. Paste there. And that's perfect. And the default type for this switch statement will just return 0, because we don't need to do anything, because that's just unlocking the tree, and we don't want to unlock anything when we unlock the tree. So we'll do default here, and this will be return 0. That's perfect. So now, if we go up to level bonus inside of initialize skills, you can change this to get start bonus for level, and then we'll put type. We'll pass in the type, whatever the type is, and then we'll pass in I plus 1. That's perfect, because I could be set at 0, so we want it to be the first level, when the first one when we go in. So that's perfect. We don't need a level bonus for the first initial one because it doesn't do anything, so we've done that. That's perfect. Right, now before we head into Unreal, what we need to do is go just into skill button before we forget. And what we need in here, when you update the visuals, we want to update the texture. So what we're going to do here is if is valid. What we're going to do here is I skill icon, so image skill icon, check if that's valid, and we're going to check if skill data.icon is valid. Skill data.icon is valid. So we need to right click here, include definition for using images. So in here what I'm going to do is I underscore skill icon, so your image skill icon. What I'm going to do is set brush from texture. I'm going to pass in skill data.icon. So now what we can do is go into Unreal Engine and live code and see if that's worked. In Unreal Engine now, we're going to go to the skill tree, and you want to fill in on the details panel here on the left. I was playing around, sorry about this, but you want to put your health obviously in health icon, speed in speed icon, and skill tree in skill tree icon. So now let's test if it's worked. Perfect. Got them working. It looks beautiful. All working for now, so that's perfect. We've got them working, and each time, let's say we do the speed now. I'm going to do speed, and let's double check it is still working. Yeah, speed is added on. We'll do a UE log later for health, and it'll show the health going up. Perfect. Now that that's done, let's assign different costs for each level and update the skill points on the character. So we're going to go back into C++, go into the skill tree.h. We're going to go into the protected section again, create another U function, and this is going to be void update skill points. I'm just going to pass in a float of skill points. That's perfect there. We need another function, so it's going to be a U function, and this is going to be float of get skill cost for level. Perfect just there, and that's going to pass through an int32 of level. And we'll make that a const as well. Perfect. Let's create these. Perfect, both created. And what we want to do in here, in update skill points, what we want to do, we're going to do if is not valid, so exclamation mark is valid, and we want to check T skill points. If it's not valid, then we want to return. This is our text for our skill points that's going to be on screen. So now what we can do is f string, it's going to be called skill point string, and it's going to equal f string again. I'm going to do printf. Inside we have text, and this is going to be skill points, and then we want %d. It's perfect just like that, and then we want a comma. We want to do fmath round to int. And we're going to put skill points inside. That's perfect. And now what we can do is set a text. Skill points. So set text, and this will be f text from string skill point string. Perfect. Perfect. If it's added in the include at top text block, yeah, that's perfect. It's been added in. So now in this big massive one we're going to have here is, actually it's not actually going to be huge, take that back. Basically what we need is what we've got here. I'm going to put it inside of here. So what we can have is we have a float, and it's going to be called costs. And then the first one's going to cost 1, We'll do 1, 3, 5, 10, 20. 5, 10, 20, perfect. And check if cost is a valid index, which it is. Level -1 and cost level, and that's perfect. That's get skill cost for level. So now on initialize skill tree, what we want to do is update skill points up here. Update skill points, and then we'll have character. And we want the skill points from the character. That's perfect. And now on skill unlocked, where have we gone? Want to do put some code in here. So we want to have it just above here. And it's going to be if character skill points is, we'll do less than none, less than unlocked skill, get skill data. It'll be cost, I think it was. Yeah, we don't want to, and then we want it to return. If it doesn't return out of that, we want to do character skill points. And here we can do minus equals what we have up top, just there. That's perfect. Move the little gap from above. So that'll take the cost of it off the skill points the character's got. And then what we'll do is update skill points, character skill points. That's perfect. Now what we want to do inside of initialize skills to finish with this, what we want to do is change cost to be get skill cost or level. And what we need to do is I +1. So that's perfect. Now what we can do is go back into Unreal Engine and test that out. That's live code. Live coding was complete. Right, so it should update our skill points up there. Oh, I've done that wrong. But as you can see, it's taking off the amount we asked. So this one should take 20, yeah. Should take 1. I think this was 2, 3, 5, 10, and 20. That's perfect, yeah. The skill tree system is currently working. Now what we can do, we can have a description on the right hand side to say how much the next unlockable is. So what we're going to do for that is jump back into Unreal Engine. Sorry, I meant C++. So we want to go into skilltree.h, create another U function. As you can tell, I'm not doing all these at one time in one go because it might come across as a bit confusing. And here we want update info panels, we'll call them. Perfect. And then underneath here, we're not going to have the actual panels in C++ because we don't really need them. We'll just put them in Unreal Engine because they're not really going to be moved around, but we want to change the text. So what we're going to do here is a U property. We need 2 more texts. So what we can do is find the other text from before. This one, copy it, and what we can do is just do paste. And this one is going to be health description, we'll call it. Capital H for health description. And this one's going to be called speed description. Both look perfect like that. So let's jump in the CPP after we create the update info panel. Sorry, we'll update that. Added that. First off, at the top, what we want to do, I think it would just do it underneath here. We want to see how much a skill tree costs. So to do that, we're going to do a const f string. We'll call this info. We're going to equal this to f string again, as you would have guessed. And this is going to be printf. And this is going to be text brackets, and then inside here we'll have skill tree /n, so it goes to the next line, and then we'll have cost, and that'll cost will equal %.0f 0f there, points, and then at the end here we need a comma, and what we want to do is data.cost. Perfect. So underneath here for the health description, we want to do set text. And this is going to be f text from string info. I'm going to duplicate that and do it with speed description. Perfect. Now in update info panels, there's quite a lot of code here. So for the first one, we're just going to do the health. So we're going to get a bool and call b health maxed, and we'll equal that to true. So underneath here, we're going to do a for int 32 I equals 0. And we do health skills num. I is less than health skills num, I++. And inside of here, we're going to do use skill button pointer. I'm going to call it skill. I'm going to equal that to health skills I. So in the iteration of the for loop. And we're going to do if is valid skill and not valid skill is unlocked. then we can go into this function, and what we'll do is do a const f skill data, call it skill data, and this will get skill for skill data, sorry. And then we'll do another const for f string info, a bit like we did before, but we're going to do f string info equals f string printf, and inside of here we want text, and in the brackets of text we want health, then we want the \n, and then after that we want level, so that's a new line, and then we're going to do %d for that, so we can get the level, and then we have a \n again, we want the bonus, we're going to equal that to plus %.0f HP, and then we want slash again for n, and then we're going to do cost, and this is going to be exactly the same again, %.0f points. Perfect. Now what we need is a comma. We need to do I plus 1, comma again, we need data dot level bonus, no, it's skill data, sorry, skill data dot level bonus, and then we need skill dot data dot not dot HP, for some reason it's come up with that, we need cost. That's perfect there. And underneath here we need t underscore health description, set text from string info, and then we'll do b health maxed and equal that to false, and then break. Perfect break there. And then underneath this we're going to do if b health maxed is true, and then what we want is a t underscore health description, set text, and we want this to be f text from string, and this is going to be text health \n, and we'll have max level, and then \n again, and it's going to be reached. That's perfect. Exclamation mark. So that's that done for the health. What we can do with speed, I'm just going to copy and paste and change it where we need to change it. So speed, over here we need speed as well, speed skills, that's speed skills again. Over here we need speed there, need change this to speed des, speed description. Perfect. Change it there again. This needs to be speed as well. Change this to speed. I think we've got everything there. That's all speed, and all that needs to be changed to speed as well. Speed maxed equals false. So we've got everything for speed in that section, and I think that's everything done. So on skill unlocked, where have we gone? You can have just under here, update info panels. So we're going to update them, and that's perfect. So that's all done. Let's go into Unreal Engine and test that out. So let's go into skill tree and add the border. So border, add it to your canvas panel here. To make it however big you want. Put it central. Put the alignment to 0.5 on both. Reset the position X, reset the position Y. The size I want about 400 by 400. And let's just drag it over here. Might be a little bit big, but you know, we're gonna have like mine, maybe 300 by 300. Perfect. I'm gonna duplicate this because I want to. So this side's gonna be health border. This one's gonna be speed border. Perfect. So we've got -680 there. Let's copy that and then put it in here. Paste. Put it positive. Perfect. Now let's do rounded box, fixed radius, let's add a width of like 4, corner radius of like 10. Like you can see it curves a bit there. I'm going to put the opacity to 1, perfect. Got 2 little boxes there. What I might change them both to be is grey. And now we just need to add the text in. So for the text, copy, let me just paste one in. Yeah, that's too big, so let's do like 28. I want central alignment here. Just want it in the middle. 0 padding, and that's perfect. Hopefully that looks good, and then copy that, paste it on that one. That's perfect. Now let's just change the name of them. So we need the names here. So we need this one on the left is going to be T health description. Perfect. And this one's going to be T speed description. Perfect. Let's test that out and see if it works. Perfect. As you can see, it says the speed, level 2, the bonus, 100 extra HP. It's not supposed to say HP, but yeah, I've missed something out there. Give me a moment, I'll jump back in here. Yeah, so it's not supposed to say HP at all there, sorry about that. I'll just live code dead quickly and double check it works perfectly. So I've just took it out of here, it said HP because I duplicated them. Live coding complete again, but yeah, looks perfect. Bonus plus 100 speed and the cost, and it takes it off each time. That's perfect. Obviously we don't need 100 skill points, but that's perfect. Now the last quick thing to do to finish off this whole series is just let the player know which icon they're on. So how we can do that is go back into Unreal Engine, go into the skill button, let's duplicate that image. So we're going to do that and then paste under here, and we can do current icon or current skill. Actually sounds better. Current skill. Perfect. And then we go into the CPP. I'm going to go to native construct, and what we can do here is do I_current skill. I'm going to do set visibility. I'm going to do eSlate hidden. Perfect. Copy that. Because what we're going to do here is go into skill acquired. I'm going to paste. And all we need to do now is put visible. Perfect. Now let's go into Unreal Engine and live code. So now with live code, we need to go into the skill button. So we're missing the image. So for this image, I'm just going to add another image. I'm going to add it to the overlay. I am going to fill it here. And this image, I'm going to do the plain circle we used. So appearance, where's the plain circle? Just there. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to give it a red tint. Let's say, yeah, fully red. That's perfect. Theoretically, I want it behind it, but I do want this image a bit bigger. So let's make it a bit bigger. Yeah, so what we can do, let's just have a look at it, get the image. Just change the scale to 1.1 or 1.05. And 1.05, and that pokes out a bit. You can see it a bit better, so let's just test that out. We do need to change the name of it to I_current skill. Compile and save. That's perfect. Well, let's test it out. Let's see how it looks. Perfect. So we can tell which ones have been selected and been used. That is perfect. Perfect. So yeah, perfect. That was the final part of my skill tree series done. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did like it, leave a like, leave a comment if you've got any questions, maybe I can help with anything. Also subscribe if you can. If you don't want to, you don't want to, but it really helps me out and I really enjoy making these types of videos. And yeah, I can't wait to make the next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.